Imagine a city so well planned, its straight roads were wider and cleaner than many in Europe. Imagine lampposts lining busy streets at night, fueled by oil, long before gas lamps lit up London. This isn't a myth. This is the story of a kingdom that dared to light up the night. And when you hear electricity before Europe, you might think of wires and dynamos. But the truth is richer, more subtle, and far more powerful. Welcome to the age of the Kingdom of Benin. Our story begins not with steam engines, but deep in the rainforest of what is today southern Nigeria. Here, along winding creeks and fertile land, the Ido people laid the foundations of a city that would astonish the world. By the 11th to 13th centuries, the settlement of Ido, later known as Benin City, was flourishing. The forest provided wood, the rivers offered fish and trade routes, and iron technology was already in use. Over centuries, this city-state grew into a powerful kingdom, where craft, commerce, and governance merged in incredible ways. The city's walls and moats have been described as one of the greatest earthworks of the pre-industrial era, with some estimates suggesting the network rivaled the world's greatest monuments. In a setting of such grand scale, the stage was set for something else. Public lighting. Picture dusk in this great city. The sun sinks behind the forest canopy, yet the city does not retreat into darkness. Instead, it transforms. Lamps go alight. People move through broad streets, visiting the palace, the market, or simply socializing. This might seem unremarkable today, but when European explorers arrived, they didn't expect what they found. One account from 1691 described the city to a Portuguese captain as larger than Lisbon, with straight streets and clean homes. Most fascinating were the streetlights, not electricity in our sense, but large metal lamps, many feet high, fueled by palm oil and placed around the city, especially near the palace. This was a functioning urban lighting system in a major African city, while many European cities still relied on torchlit gloom. So when we say electricity before Europe, we must qualify it. This kingdom lit its streets before many European cities did. The kind of lighting was different, but the effect was the same. A city alive, safe, and visible at night. How did this happen? Three things came together. First, the economic strength of the kingdom. The Oba, or king, ruled over an economy rich in trade, craft, and especially palm oil, the very fuel for the lights. Second, brilliant urban planning. Under rulers like Oba the Great in the 15th century, the city's layout, streets, and moats were formalized. There was a clear vision of order. And third, cultural and technological confidence. The famous bronze casting workshops and guilds of craftsmen show a society that valued refinement, durability, and visible power. These factors converged: abundant fuel from palm oil, expert craft to make the metal lamps, and strong governance to maintain the lighting system. Imagine a worker lighting a tall lamp each evening. Its glow spills onto the broad avenue. A resident knows the road is safe. A trader can navigate after sunset. This lighting fostered commerce, security, and a vibrant civic life. But let's pause, because our title hints at electricity. Were there dynamos and wires in 15th century West Africa? The short answer is no, not in the modern sense. But the long answer is what truly matters. While Europe is often credited with street lighting from the late 1600s, using oil and later gas, Benin City's system was in use long before. For instance, London's first public oil lamps appeared in 1684. The electricity here is metaphorical. It's not about wires, but about the concept of a deliberately lit urban nightscape that provided safety and enabled social life. This is the delayed reveal. What sounds like a dramatic claim is actually a deeper truth about innovation and human agency. It invites us to rethink our assumptions that technological progress is always linear and always led by the same global powers. Let's walk through the city at twilight, back in the 15th century. A young apprentice on Igon Street, the Bronzecasters Guild Road, pours molten brass into a mold. He knows his masterpiece, a lamp, will stand outside the palace walls and burn each night. A trader carries barrels of palm oil harvested from a nearby grove. That oil fuels the city's glow. A woman walks down a broad, lit avenue after visiting the market, the shadows calm. She meets neighbors, perhaps hears distant drums. The night is not a time for fear. The city stays alive. The king's palace, lit at night, is a powerful symbol of order and reach. These are the moments that make history tangible. In 1485, a Portuguese expedition arrived near Benin and encountered a city that defied their expectations. Wide streets, organization, and immense wealth. A visitor later wrote that the city was larger than Lisbon. Well, such accounts unsettled European assumptions about African societies. Yet, the story of the lamps and lighting rarely made its way into mainstream historical narratives, which remained focused on Europe. This isn't just about streetlights. It's about reputation, perception, and history's blind spots. Sadly, the Kingdom of Benin did not remain isolated. From the 19th century on, external pressures grew. The lucrative trade in palm oil, rubber, and ivory brought European intrigue. In 1897, the British launched an infamous expedition into Benin City. Palaces were burned, treasures were looted, and the city's infrastructure was destroyed. The lights, it seems, flickered out permanently. With the decline of the kingdom's power, the story of its urban innovations, the lighting, the planning, faded into obscurity, and its priceless artifacts, the Benin bronzes, were scattered across museums abroad. So, why does this story matter now? First, it challenges our Eurocentric assumptions about who gets to be a technological first. When we dig deeper, we find other centers of innovation. Second, it offers inspiration. Here was a society that marshaled its resources, crafts, and governance to create nighttime urban safety. Today, we take lighting for granted, but this reminds us of the human ingenuity behind it. Third, it invites a reckoning. The destruction of Benin reminds us how colonial violence disrupted not just politics, but knowledge, memory, and innovation. Recovering these stories enriches our shared humanity. So here is the final reveal. The Kingdom of Benin did not have electric wires before Europe, but it had a system of urban lighting, nightlife, and civic safety that preceded public lighting in many European cities. And that counts. The word electricity was a metaphor to provoke reflection. It asks, what do we consider modern? Who gets to be the first? And how many stories have we left out of the grand narrative of human civilization? The glow of those palm oil lamps in Benin City was a statement. We are here, we plan, we craft, we live after sunset. Let that light stay with us. Let it guide our curiosity and our respect for those kingdoms too long hidden in shadow. Thank you for joining this journey into the past. If you've enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell so we can keep bringing you more hidden histories. Until next time, may light, knowledge, and curiosity never go out.